Hello. I'm recording this video in the first week where the social distancing restrictions to prevent the spread of the new coronavirus are really taking hold here in the UK. Today is the last day of school for my kids, for example. And I'm seeing a lot of people online, understandably concerned about the effect this is going to have on their work in the audio industry, on recording, mixing and mastering. And a lot of people asking and wondering if there is a way to stream high quality audio to clients so that we can work with them in that way in real time, and also whether we can do that with video chat facilities so that we can have that interactivity that's so important as part of what we do. And the answer is yes. I discovered this myself last week. I was going to be doing a talk at a college. That wasn't going to be possible, so I was looking into the possibilities of doing that remotely. And Ian Stewart and I were doing some testing. You probably know Ian from the blogs he's written on the iZotope website of different streaming applications, YouTube, Zoom, StreamYard. And unfortunately, we've just found that the audio quality on all of those video chat and conferencing solutions just wasn't high enough quality, especially for professional audio work. But Ian suggested that we take a look at the Audiomovers Listen To plugin, which I had not heard of, and try running that at the same time as a video connection so that we could chat and also possibly screen share. And honestly, neither of us thought that it was going to work, but it did. And actually, it worked amazingly well. So I wanted to share the method that I used to do that with you. And hopefully it will help some of you to do this as well. I think you could certainly use this to do remote mixing and mastering and production sessions, and quite probably even remote recording sessions as well. So let's dive in and I'll show you how it works. So I'm working in Wavelab, but this is going to be the same procedure for any DAW. And the first thing I need to do is insert the Listen To plugin on the master output fader, right at the end of the chain after any other processing. Here's the plugin window. It's really simple to set up. You can see I've entered my username and password, so I just click login, which takes no time at all. And then I can add a session name, so we'll call this test stream. And as it says here, if you change the session name, then the link that you're about to generate also gets changed. So we're going to click copy that link, which has been copied to the clipboard, and then we're going to go and we're going to start by pasting this just into a normal web browser and click start listening. And you can see we've got a green connected light here. It recognizes the session name of test stream, the browser sample rate. We're good to go. So we go back through to the DAW and I'll click play. To start with, of course, we're not hearing anything because I have the faders turned down here. But also we have to click start transmission. As soon as I click start transmission, we start hearing audio, which is coming through the browser, not through the DAW output. And you can see it on the meters here. And it really is as simple as that. So stage one in getting your session up and running is simply to add the Audiomovers Listen To plugin and copy the link and send it to them. Now we've got some configuration settings here. Currently this is streaming 128 kilobits per second AAC. We've got a ton of options, and I think most excitingly we've got here PCM, that's lossless, 16-bit, 24-bit, even 32-bit. We'll just go for a 16-bit session. I have 16-bit dither in the output here, so that's going to be fine. And honestly, for this purpose, it's easily good enough quality. But the other thing you can adjust is the latency. And I got pretty excited when I first clicked this pull down menu here, because you can see it goes all the way down to 0.1 seconds. That's only 100 milliseconds. And I was convinced that if I tried to use it at that kind of setting, I was going to have stuttering or glitching or whatever. But let's take a listen.
Then you called me like a siren song. You were calling.
It's clean as a whistle. And remember that we're listening to that through the browser. You can see it recognizes here the latency's gone down to 0.1 seconds. We're listening to this. It's gone out to the internet somewhere and back to my computer. And obviously, in the real situation, this link would be with your client. But in this case, it's off out into cyberspace somewhere and back to the browser. And even if I crank the quality up to 24-bit audio and press play,
It's better today.
so immediately we've got goal 1 of clean, lossless, high-quality audio streaming with very low latency directly from my DAW. And that's already pretty exciting. I mean, you could bring a mic in to this session, run it through, and so that you could chat to your client, get something else coming back the other way, or maybe call them up on your phone. But it gets better than that, because we can also use a video messaging app at the same time. So in order to be able to talk to people, pretty much anything would do, Skype or WhatsApp, or whatever you prefer. But in this case, I'm going to use Zoom, and I'll show you why in just a minute. So the first thing I'm going to do is join a meeting, as you can see, and then I'm going to choose to share my screen. So now anybody who's connected to the Zoom call is going to see my screen share. Now we see the cool thing about Zoom, which is that if we go to the settings window and choose the statistics tab, we can see latency settings for the audio and the video. But in this case, we're most interested in the screen sharing, and we can see there that we've got a latency of 90 milliseconds. That is the exact information we need to find the correct setting in Listen To. And there we have 100 milliseconds. It's 10 milliseconds different, but that's not a difference that's going to bother anybody. And unfortunately, I can't demonstrate to you on my own computer here how well this works. But trust me, you can see the green line around the edge of the screen here in Zoom showing that we are sharing the screen. In our tests, it worked seamlessly. The sync was easily close enough for Ian to be able to see what I was doing in the DAW and to hear it with lossless audio. And that's it in a nutshell. So you could use this for doing a remote mixing session, a remote mastering session. You could even potentially use this method for a remote recording session. If you sent, for example, a stereo backing file to one of your clients and they installed the Listen To plugin and sent you the link, you would then be able to listen to the audio from their computer. They could start a Zoom call and share their screen with you so that you could see what they were doing, and they could record an overdub with you producing the session. If they ran the Zoom call on a mobile phone, for example, they could even use the video connection to show you the microphone setup so that you could advise them on technique or possibly where they were in the room, any other detail you thought might be useful to get an even better result. And there's one other thing that I want to show you. If I come up here and click Stop Share, and then the other user shares their screen with me, then we have yet another possibility. If I click here and request remote control of the other user's screen, I can literally take control of their computer. And if this was an audio application and we installed the Audio Movers plugin on this other computer, I could literally control the recording or mixing session from here and hear exactly what was happening on their computer. There would be some latency, as you can see. As I move this around, there is some lag, but it's quite workable. So that means we can mix and have a client watch and listen with fantastic audio quality. We can master and have a client watch and listen with fantastic audio quality. We can have a client record and we can listen to them with fantastic audio and video quality. And we can even take control of their session while we're doing it via Zoom. And the key is to allow the Audio Movers plugin to handle the high quality audio streaming and Zoom to handle the video and audio. The screen control option is fantastic. If you're interested in doing masterclass or tutorial sessions over the internet, I can use this to work with clients remotely, and it doesn't even need a particularly high bandwidth internet connection. Connection here is okay, but nothing special. I've got about 6 or 7 megabits of upload speed at most. And with a more complicated configuration, you could even send audio to your client from your DAW, have them listen to it via the Audio Movers receiver plugin within their own DAW, perform along with the track as they hear it at their end, and send their audio back to you so that you can record it on your own computer. Real-time remote audio collaboration really is finally possible. So there you go. I hope that was helpful or useful for you. As I say, I was amazed at how well this worked, even on a pretty modest internet connection. It's also extremely affordable. You get a 7-day free trial of the Audio Movers plugin so that you can see whether this is going to work for you. And then you basically top up the account. I think it's $4 for a week or $10 for a month, or there's a yearly charge as well. And from what I'm aware, you can just use that as and when you need it. So you wouldn't even need a continual subscription, which is a fantastic model for doing this. So as I say, I think I have no connection with the Audio Movers plugin. I just found this. I thought it was such a cool way to work and wanted to share it with you as quickly as possible. And hopefully it will help some of you carry on working through the difficult few months that we all have ahead of us. And that will be helpful for you. My name is Ian Shepherd. I'm a mastering engineer and I run the Production Advice website aimed at helping you get better results recording, mixing and mastering your music. If you'd like more content like this, please head over there and take a look, or you might like to subscribe to the Mastering Show podcast, which I also host. Stay safe and thanks for listening.